Warning.
I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every conceivable opportunity so you can current day us. Fucking pronouns, fucking gender ambiguity, in current day Californian shit. Because that's all we know. Because we're boring. We're so boring.
And that is why I hate politics. I'm sure if you've been around the internet for a long while, you may have heard the word woke be thrown around, mostly by people who align with the Republican Party. What started as a phrase used by the BLM movement to spread awareness about a systemically bigger government has devolved into a dog whistle by alt-right nutjobs that see a black gay man existing and throw an entire temper tantrum over it while claiming white straight cis people are being discriminated against. Fascinatingly unsurprising if you ask me. And one of the big targets when talking about woke culture is Hollywood. A lot of culture wars have started because of movies like Captain Marvel and shows like Proud Family forcing diversity and brainwashing children to accept satanic propaganda. Okay. They'll blame any failure with the slogan "Go woke, go broke," and refuse to hear any reasons outside of their own. Say, Jeremy's, have you ever considered that Strange World most likely flopped simply because Disney didn't even bother to give it proper marketing and that audiences don't actually care about how woke their products are? So naturally, with this frustration of Hollywood getting political, it has spawned the creation of anti-woke animated shows, not because of a passion for the art, but out of pure spite. On the kids show spectrum, you have Chip Chilla and PragerU Kids.
Thank you so much, Madam President. I regret voting for the other guy.
Slavery is as old as time and has taken place in every corner of the world, even amongst the people I just left. Being taken as a slave is better than being killed, no?
For people who have an issue with creators inserting their political views into their works, they don't seem to mind doing it themselves. And on the adult animation spectrum, aka the topic of this video, you have Mr. Birchum and The New Norm. Both of these shows have been getting rightfully panned by just about everyone on the internet. And yes, I mean everyone. The left hates them, centrists hate them, and funny enough, the right hates them as well. How is that possible? Conservatives have considered wokeness to be their biggest enemy. They want Daddy Trump to check for pronouns and bio under their bed every night. Like, how could someone who wants to end the existence of the agendas and messages being pushed on kids hate something catered to them? Well, to answer that, I want to talk about what these shows actually entail. And to do that, I sat down and watched all 6 episodes of Mr. Birchum and the first 2 episodes of The New Norm on totally legal means, and questioning why I'm wasting my time watching conservative comedy for the sake of a video. Let's just get this over with. Mr. Birchum is created by Adam Carolla, Nate Adams, and Mike Lynch for the streaming service nobody gives a crap about, Daily Wire Plus. The show centers around the lives of the Birchum family, but more importantly, the title character himself, Richard Birchum. Richard is a substitute now turned full-time teacher who is frustrated at the current world for being too woke, not made any better by a leftist counselor named Mr. Carponzi, whose job is to make Teddy Roosevelt Junior High School more politically correct. Each episode is meant to act as a social commentary of sorts, and yeah, that's pretty much the synopsis for it. The show actually serves as a spin-off to Adam Carolla's other show on Comedy Central, Crank Yankers, where he's played as Mr. Birchum persona throughout the show's run, which in of itself originated from his appearances on radio in the 90s. Carolla pitched this show to Fox back in 2011, but for some reason they turned it down, which is kind of a shame because from what I've seen with the pilot, it's actually much funnier than the final product.
Jesus Christ! You're telling me George Washington Carver made axle grease and lantern oil out of peanuts but missed peanut butter altogether? Then why'd we bother changing the name of the school?
And this is what originated a tweet from the co-founder of the Daily Wire, Jeremy Boring. For decades, no network would touch at Adam Carolla's animated sitcom Mr. Birchum. He only pitched it to one, but go off I guess, for fear of offending the wrong people. Fortunately, we love offending the wrong people. There it is, the whole selling point. Mr. Birchum is so offensive that it's gonna own all the libtards and make them shrivel to dust. And he's right, it's pretty offensive. and how inoffensively unfunny it is. For a show that says it's too derogatory for the woke mob, it's the same old jokes that conservatives make about minorities like haha he's gay, haha he's black, and they're pretty tame. I've seen shows on Adult Swim that are more offensive. Hell, an episode of Go Go Tamagotchi, an anime aimed towards kids, did a joke more shocking than anything in Mr. Birchum. Yeah, you know who you're subscribed to. Hi there, welcome to my channel. And when they aren't poking fun at minorities, they're inserting pointless Family Guy like cutaways that have no rhyme or reason to be there other than to tell an attempted joke.
You ever see a vegan wolf on the Nature Channel?
I'm a vegan.
Come to think of it, most of the budget might have gone towards animating those gags because by the 5th episode, yeah. But not only is the show inoffensive and unfunny, it's also kinda boring. If I'm being honest, I forgot about over half of what happened in its 6 episodes after my initial viewing. Each episode's just less than 30 minutes of nothing happening, or at least nothing of interesting value. I guess I could give it credit for not being as political as I thought it would be, but that's not really saying much when what's offered is the equivalent of a plain toppingless hamburger. I've seen many compare this to Family Guy because, okay, let's be real here, a lot of adult animated shows nowadays are compared to Family Guy, so that's not much of a shock. However, a more reasonable comparison I've seen is The King of the Hill. While show creator Mike Judge's political views are debated on, okay, never mind. King of the Hill, as far as I'm aware, is also a conservative-leaning show. However, there is one big difference between the two shows, and it mainly comes down to their leading protagonists. Hank Hill is meant to portray the average American stereotype. He lives in Texas with his family, he's an assistant manager at a propane branch, and he's a proud conservative that's confused with the country's changing culture. While Hank is frustrated with the changes, he never really mopes about it. He acknowledges that he just doesn't understand and is open to accepting different viewpoints. Plus, he has more love and care for his family and those around him than the United States. Richard Birchum, on the other hand, while still conservative, is the complete opposite. He doesn't give a rat's ass about his family and has a pretty toxic relationship with his wife. He treats his students like shit. The pilot episode literally shows him forcing them to work in his backyard, by the way. And whenever he sees something new, all he does is just whine and complain about it.
But the school district has money for this nonsense? Are they vegan too? Ooh, what about their allergies? Maybe those theys could be lactose intolerant. Well, it was a nice civilization while it lasted.
He's actually kind of a horrible person. And what's worse is that he's meant to be the protagonist. Almost every episode treats him as if he's in the right. I swear that's not a pun. Even when he's flat out admitting he's making his students suffer under him. Yeah, this is our protagonist, everybody. And then everyone clapped. But you wanna know who is the antagonist? Elliot Warbler Carponzi, or Vosh, whose joke is that he is a caricature of liberals and a DEI hire by the school. Or should I say, Jedi.
No, I want to kill him!
There's an obvious reason they made him the villain of the show, though I hesitate to call him that because he doesn't really do anything bad. The worst he does is cause some conflicts that are supposed to be a parody of leftist views, that's just conservatives making up an issue for the millionth time, and be a nuisance to Birchum. Oh my god, how dare he. Also for the fact that there's a very infamous scene in episode 4 where there's a fantasy sequence about Birchum and Carponzi having a slow love dance, to which you might think it's the latter who's having the dream because haha, gay liberal. Nope, it's Birchum having the dream and he's visibly enjoying it. Is there something you want to tell us, Adam? All of the other characters are rather forgettable. Wendy is the try-hard mother who wants to be hip and adapt to the new times. Jeannie is basically Louise Belcher without any semblance of her charm.
Eddie is a Twitch streamer. I honestly don't blame him for staying in the basement.
Dawn is Birchum's token black friend just so the creators of the show can avoid racism accusations, even when they call that out in the second episode. No, I'm not kidding, they actually do that.
Did you blow off my Obama fundraiser? I can't believe this. I figured you'd support him because, well, you know.
Oh, so you only invited me because I'm black. Am I the friend that you're talking about when you tell other white people, I can't be racist, I have a black friend?
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, no, no.
I thought this was supposed to be anti-woke. Mr. Birchum comes off as a desperate attempt to be as successful as a popular animated Fox show, but aligns itself more with a failed animated Fox show. And reminder, Fox turned it down. It's boring, lazy, bad at comedy. I was just kinda numb watching it, so I don't see myself thinking about it ever again. The next one, on the other hand,
I took your advice. From now on, I'm normal.
Okay, so doing research for this part of the video has been a little complicated. That's because the new norm doesn't even bother to officially credit anybody behind it aside from some key voice actors. No credit animators, writers, composers, my god, not even the series creator. However, thanks to some posts across the web, which was a pretty interesting rabbit hole to go down, I was able to piece together something. The new norm is allegedly created by Matthew Forassi of Sound of Freedom, Michael Kiva-Prel, and the Is Not Real Liked Party. I'm not kidding, that's actually what I found. The cartoon started back in 2020 as a webcomic inspired by the 70s sitcom All in the Family named Woke World, about this man named Norm being confused about the changes to current society, aka bitching and complaining about everything, even sausages. I think you're starting to notice a pattern here. Then in 2022, it was announced that the comic would be turned into an animated series with a short teaser being released alongside it, promising to stick to the original comic's art style, making it look like a cartoon made 10 minutes off of Go Anime. Yeah, looking at it, I'm glad they didn't. Finally, on June 25th, 2024, the pilot was released to the internet, renamed to a new norm, marking it as the first animated sitcom on Twitter. Fuck you, I am not calling it X, and I pray every night that Elon... Let me just start by saying it if I haven't already. I hate that it was made by AI criticism. Not only is it just one of the laziest ways possible to criticize something, but it dismisses the real human effort that has gone into the work. It's not hard to say that aspects like the writing or animating were half-assed or poorly done without thinking there was no effort put into it. And in fairness, the new norm does have real people working on it, like voice actors and definitely animators, though they are not credited. So now that I've noted this with the possibility of being wrong, I'm 99% behind the belief that AI wrote the new norm. Aside from the suspicious lack of credits in that horrendous AI animated Elon video showing that the creators are no stranger to using it, plus something else I'll get to, you could tell with how soullessly this was written. Each episode's just and then this happens with zero real plot structure, no rhyme or reason as to what's going on, and dialogue that's just,
you know there'll be jokes.
Before you question it, like I just said, there are real voice actors in this, consisting of YouTuber JP Sears as Norm. I found out he was born the same day as me and I'm frightened. Political commentator Dave Rubin as Chaz. Looking him up was not fun. And former Spin City star Larry Elder as Charlie. I brought Spin City up not because I watched it, but Michael J. Fox is in it. The others, like Janice, Chloe, those government people, and even the bot inside their home, do not have credited voice actors at all, either because they were too ashamed to be associated with it, or, insert foreshadowy line here. Anyway, these voice performances are bad. They all sound like they're throwing in their lines with zero care in the world about what they're doing, and it makes Tommy Wiseau's acting look more genuine. I mean, all of the characters are unlikable asshats anyway, except for the dog.
What the dog doing?
But had they put a little more effort into their voice acting, I would have been more allured into believing that these are real characters. It feels like every episode has zero sense and direction, and there's only 2 so far. The pilot has Norm, the whiny bitchy old guy I was talking about earlier, wanting normal non-gay branded beer, but he's under house arrest because he threatened the school board over trans people. His woke Gen Z daughter calls him out on it, and they play it as if he's in the wrong, so why is he the protagonist again? But when Norm's wife, Janice, comes home, she brings along with him our supposed antagonist, Chaz, a non-binary woke warrior who was tasked by whatever kind of government this is to live inside the household so he can re-educate Norm. Then out of nowhere, Norm's token black friend Charlie shows up because, again, you can't be racist if you have black friends.
I don't understand. You're black.
Charlie says his kid is transitioning before they make a Jets joke. Honestly, no reason to make a joke about the Jets because they're jokes that write themselves if we're honest. Then Norm passes the beer to Chaz. He calls him pronoun like a slur, by the way.
Hey, pronoun. This bud's for you.
Chaz says he can't drink it because he's underage, and for some reason this upsets Charlie.
Y'all influenced my boy to cut off his junk, but draw the line at beer?
First of all, he just said he doesn't want to drink at his age, so what warranted this reaction? The same false claim about trans people being a danger to children? See, if you want to keep your kids safe, keep them away from the Catholic Church. Secondly, shouldn't his brief rant apply to Norm too? This man straight up threatened a school board over his transphobia but thinks rainbow branded beer is wrong? It's just beer with a rainbow label. Why doesn't he just drink it? Does he think it's gonna turn him queer or some shit? That'd be pretty cool, not gonna lie. And look at at that. He opens the can he didn't want to open in the first place and it sprays him. Funny, guys. Funny. Funny! Then the theme song plays, which you can obviously tell was generated in Sumo AI using the country template.
Everything's changing and I don't know when this whole nightmare will end. Thank God for Elon Musk and his those memes. X is the home for free speech.
Oh yeah, the show likes to insert random conservative celebrities they like even when it's without their consent, which is something they've been doing since the webcomic days alongside frequently tweeting at said celebrities. I swear to God this is peak parasocialism. And this continues in the second episode, which was actually released very recently. It takes place at a Trump rally. Wait, I thought no one was under house arrest. Elon is there and somehow looks uglier than before. They dance to a remix of Trump's claim about Haydn's eating pets that'll likely put him in Vance in jail. Orange Man gets shot, I'm sure you can guess what this is referencing, by Hillary Clinton of all people. It's 2024 and you're still fuming over Hillary Clinton? Also, both suspects were white men, no one's a conservative. Deal with it. Trump and Elon get on a SpaceX ship, immediate funeral. Chloe and Chaz try to get on Jeff Bezos' Smile ship. Yeah, about that. But it's already occupied by a drag queen who flies it to Russia to blow up Putin, and Norm is the moon now? I didn't think this show would get worse, but it did. Also, you're not gonna believe the disclaimer that's above this freaking video. Disclaimer, this cartoon is a satirical masterpiece.
You call your own work a fucking masterpiece?
Any resemblance to real persons, living or dead, and all characters and events in the show are fictional and protected by the First Amendment. Free speech. By the home of free speech, Twitter. Head by Twitter. Chief free speech champion and great dancer Elon Musk. So grab some popcorn, chill, and remember, it's okay to laugh. In fact, it's downright American to pursue your happiness. Enjoy the show. Share it with friends and frenemies, and thank you for doing your part to make America funny again. Jesus Christ, I think I'm having a stroke. Oh, by the way, they wrote this disclaimer with Elon's Grok chatbot. If you're curious as to what the future holds for his show... What's that? They dropped the third one? God damn it.
No matter who wins, we all lose.
Strange game. The only winning move is not to play. How about a nice, normal beer?
Okay, not only do I have no idea what the show is trying to say anymore, but it's also become some big commercial for products it's trying to sell to the point where it's gone from ironically funny to genuinely unbearable. If you're curious as to what the future holds for the show, well, the initial version of its website gave a glimpse into upcoming episode ideas, and I'm not gonna read all of them, but let's just say there's a reason some of these ideas aren't gonna get off the ground. One of them is about Elon and Norm going to court over their comments, aka harassment of AOC, calling her hot but not smart. Bimbo. It's not gonna make it better, but the word you're looking for is bimbo, you old fuck. There's another about the family going to Disney World, or the wokest place on earth, or these nuts. How original. Because you can't be conservative without going after quote-unquote woke Disney. Do not tell me there's a difference. They teased it at the end of the pilot, so I'm not sure if they're still gonna do this episode or not, but it'd be interesting to see that Lin-Manuel Miranda version of Hall of Presidents. Okay, but that idea has actually been in the rumor mill for quite some time now. Please let it happen. You know, since I'm on the topic of Disney, I wonder how that Iger replacement search is going.
What the f are you doing?
There's an episode about AI which, ironically, is supposed to portray the subject in a negative light. Do I even need to explain why this is hypocritical? Okay, these last two are pretty bad. The wedding has every tradition and non-woke gender role ridiculed, which is expected. Again, conservatives just love making things up. But for some reason, they bring up black and white families and biracial couples? Yeah, concerning. But then you get to the last episode called Electile Dysfunction. which they used for the actual second episode title, and I think I should let the last part speak for itself. When Norm traces the origins of wokeness back to women gaining the right to vote, the AI-powered digital assistant Omni threatens to derail Norm's campaign and make him the enemy of all women, including his wife and daughter. Yeah, talk about going mask off. I think that's all I want to say. Someone please help Salty's edging addiction though. Mr. Birchum, The New Norm, and many other anti-woke animated shows exist merely for the sake of pleasing conservatives' hate over our evolving social climate. Yeah, no shit. They live in fear, always paranoid of change. They flip their the moment they see Minnie Mouse in a pantsuit or M&Ms with different shoes. They think wokeness is a mental illness and cult when they dream every night about worshipping these guys like they're God. I think the most amusing thing to come out of the existence of both these shows is that they won't just be remembered for being industry plant humorless garbage that tries to copy what came before it. Hey kids, did you know both King of the Hill and All in the Family had episodes about drag queens where they didn't treat them like a punchline? But with how the audience it was trying to go against has completely memed the shit out of them to the point where ironic fandoms filled with yaoi and mpreg art have formed. Proving once again that no matter how loud of a minority they are, the alt-right will always be laughingstocks and nobody is ever gonna take them seriously. They can only hide under their "I'm not homophobic or racist, I just don't want forced diversity" facade for so long that most of them aren't even hiding who they are anymore.
And it's sure as hell not gonna win them the election this year, right? Right?
How did we let things get this bad?
Yeah, this is gonna be a rough 4 years, isn't it?
I could end this with a sappy monologue about how queer and colored people are just human like you and that we've been around for centuries and we just want to exist, but
let's face it, there's no reasoning with these people. They're so encapsulated in their own echo chamber that they can't comprehend anything beyond the left bad. So why even try? If conservatives want to make our lives miserable and threaten us with the worst, well, I'll just say play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Politics can bring out the best and or worst in people, and regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, they're not fun to talk about. Which is why, aside from some jabs here and there and possibly a video about why liberal cartoons aren't good either, you're never gonna hear me rant about politics on this channel again. And I think you and I can agree that's for the better. Always remember to take care and do something nice for yourself and not to live in fear. Your mental health matters and you shouldn't forget that when spreading positivity to others. Until next time, I'm Miyachi. See you later, Tama friends.
We interrupt your common Detroit Lions W with some breaking news. Almost every politician in America has blown up. We are also seeing big names in mainstream media randomly explode to pieces as well.
Oh, sweet.